Very big update. The Reserve Bank of India has announced that it will inject further liquidity into the banking system by conducting open market operations as well as purchase auctions and long tenure dollar-rupee swaps. My colleague Vishwanath joins in with more details on this. Vishwanath, good morning.
Good morning, Puneet. So, as you suggested, there is going to be a large sort of liquidity operation from the Reserve Bank of India, roughly 1.9 lakh crore worth of liquidity being pushed into the system. The first of which is a 1 lakh crore open market operation. Is going to be done in 2 tranches. The second one is a more important one, and that's where the US dollar buy-sell swaps are being conducted for $10 billion for a period of 3 years. Now, remember that this is the second such long-term auction that the RBI is doing. It did that only earlier this week, where about $10 billion worth of dollars were bought out from the system, and equivalent liquidity was pushed in, and they're going to do it again on the 24th of March. Now, why is this interesting? Well, simply because there's going to be a liquidity crunch. It's a typical thing that happens every year around the mid of March, where a lot of liquidity goes out of the system as companies pay advance tax, and therefore more money will go out of the system and into the government's pockets. So to counter that, plus to counter past liquidity operations that the RBI has done, those will also unwind in the upcoming weeks. So to counter for that as well, the RBI is doing this large sort of liquidity operation. Now, analysts are expecting that the liquidity will go into surplus mode. We still need to see how that plays out and whether the surplus is going to be in a durable fashion or whether it will adjust itself in the weeks that will follow. But it's definitely interesting because at this time, the RBI has a stance of neutral liquidity currently in its monetary policy. So we need to see whether the next policy changes that.
Well, thanks for that, Vishy. It's finally official, though, that Tesla Inc. is set to open its first ever showroom in India in Mumbai's BKC. Now, the company has put down roughly 2 crore rupees in terms of security deposits for a 4,000 square feet showroom space. My colleague Tushar joins in with more details on this. Tushar, good morning.
Good morning, Puneet. So Tesla has leased about 4,000 square feet of showroom space in Bandra Kurla complex in Mumbai. So essentially, just short of making its official entry in India. The security deposit, as you mentioned, is about 2.11 crore rupees. The rent that the company will pay is 35.26 lakh rupees initially. This will increase by 5% every year. So this deal has been essentially struck at about 881 rupees per square feet, which makes it perhaps the most expensive commercial real estate deal in India, eclipsing that of the Apple BKC store last year. This effectively means that the company is on course to bring its cars into India via the import route, while there's no information yet whether the company will set up local manufacturing operations just as yet. The company is likely to bring the Model Y first. That's what we had previously reported, which will be around 60 to 70 lakhs rupees, which will be in direct competition with the Germans. Anything lesser at about 25 to 30 would put it in competition with the Indian car makers like Tata Motors and Mahindra. We also have to remember that the licensee is Tesla India Motor and Energy Private Limited, which has its headquarters in Pune, and which actually shows that the company may have plans to set up a plant in that particular city.